Good morning, dear hearts. We are in lesson 170, and in case you didn't realize it yet, this is the last lesson before our next review, which begins tomorrow. So, hurrah, how far we have come. Today's lesson is, there is no cruelty in God and none in me. Two things. One, and I've said this before, when I was first learning the course, I listened a lot to tapes, cassette tapes in the car, to many different teachers and with many different ideas about the course and phrases to memorize, all very wonderful and very beautiful. I seem to remember that one of the phrases was, there is no cruelty in God and therefore none in me. You can drop the therefore if you want to. We'll actually have it tomorrow. So there's no cruelty in God and therefore none in me, but we can change, as I've done this before, change that word cruelty to fear, because they're actually synonymous. So there is no fear in God and therefore none in me when I know who I really am. And that's really what this lesson is taking us through, this idea that I don't really know who I am. And then it's talking about attack. And it's talking about the idea that self-defense has been given a pass as an attack, because thinking that, well, I need to be able to defend myself. But this lesson is actually telling us, which is something that we know, that all attack, any attack, is cruel. We've made up an enemy to give us the justification for attacking. And we're thinking that that enemy is out there. It's out there somewhere. But I have to defend myself. I have to be ready to defend myself. Remember that if I defend myself, I am attacked. But I have to be able to defend myself. But the truth is that that enemy is not out there. It's in here. It's in here. That's my enemy. My enemy is within my mind that has believed it has separated from the all that is, and now has set up another layer of premises and restrictions and ideas for me to obey. This premise starts out with negating the very basic premise that an idea leaves not its source, and instead it must be that ideas can and do leave their source, and that separation is real. So this lesson is actually giving us this outline for this new insane thought system. So let us look at it so we can decide once and for all that this is not what we want. So the first idea, the first premise is that ideas do leave their source. Separation is real, it's possible, and so we will defend ourselves because of separation, and this is, of course, where fear lies. The second premise, the second attribute to this thought system is that love is seen as fear with all of its qualities. It has, as anything that is insane does, turned things upside down. So that love is now fear and fear is love. So love is seen with all of the qualities of fear, and fear is now love. So now fear must defend against love. It must attack it. It says, now are the attributes of love bestowed upon its enemy. Fear, of course, is the enemy to love, as this is set up. For fear becomes your safety and protector of your peace, to which you turn for solace and escape from doubts about your strength and hope of rest in dreamless quiet. So the world is completely upside down. We've heard that before. The next idea is that cruelty and fear must become a god. We have to have something to worship here. We have to have something to look up to. And cruelty, fear, becomes our god. It must be obeyed. and it must be worshiped, and it must be obeyed and worshiped blindly, never allowing any question whatsoever to come to it, to raise it up to the idea of questioning. It has to be unquestionable. We are not allowed to question this cruel God of fear. So the God of cruelty, the God of fear, takes many forms. So if one is found lacking, another one can be found. But it's something very interesting in paragraph 7, and it says, we look upon this God dispassionately, and we note that though his lips are smeared with blood and fire seems to flame from him, he is but made of stone, and he can do nothing. He can do nothing. We need not defy his power. He has none. And so that reminds me very much of the scene in the Wizard of Oz, when the Dorothy and the lion and the scarecrow, and who am I missing? Lion, scarecrow, Dorothy. Oh my goodness, who's the fourth one? Anyway, Tin Man. Thank you, Tin Man. Thank you. Go and are in front of the wizard, and asking him things, and Toto is barking behind the curtain, and when they rip the curtain open, here is this little man, and he also, like the God of cruelty, has no power. He's been set up for them to believe in, to believe that he has power, but in truth he has none. Now the fourth idea that holds up this God of cruelty is one of the obstacles, the fourth obstacle actually, to peace, which is indeed the fear of God. So this is the main obstacle that we must get over. We must realize that love has not confused its attributes with those of fear. And so the worshipers of fear have to learn that this is their own confusion, and that the fear is actually its enemy, and its cruelty is not part of love. So today is a time to choose again, make this choice. But today be very certain about this choice, and look for the last time upon this cruel God of fear, and instead turn towards God, turn towards love, turn towards what is real and what is true. Because now this is our time to leave that once and for all. And the 12th paragraph says, now do your eyes belong to Christ, and he looks through them. Now your voice belongs to God and echoes his, and now your heart remains at peace forever. You have chosen him in place of idols, and your attributes given by your Creator are now restored to you at last. The call for God is heard and answered. Now has fear made way for love, as God himself replaces cruelty. There is no cruelty in God, and there is none in me, because I am one. I am the extension of that whole and holy and beautiful thought that is only of love and is only of joy. So this time we go past all of the fear of God, and we choose love, and we stay with our choice, knowing that we have now made the right choice. The practicing is as it has been. The lesson ends with a prayer, which is beautiful, and it ends, and we give thanks. Amen. And we do indeed give thanks. Tomorrow we start review, and as I said, this lesson leads us beautifully into God is but love, and therefore so am I. And that is going to be our central thought for the next many days. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. These little bits of wisdom, as they come to me, I'm hoping they are helpful. Namaste.